Hey, everybody. It looks like we're going to watch another draft. We have Joe Demestrio here. We've tapped into a security camera feed, and we're going to be able to watch him along with the crew from Person of Interest. And Joe, very much a person of interest right here. Like
He is.
He is up against it. He needs to X and 2. He actually needs. He already has
he
2
takes
losses.
Bioblight here.
He takes Bioblight. If he can get out of this draft with a deck that can give him 2 wins, he qualifies for basically the rest of the Pro Tour season.
Right. It's a huge swing for him, and he has been trying to hit this, narrowly missing last GP, and now he's back here. Takes a pack 1, pick 1 Bioblight. One of the better removal spells in the format.
Yeah, I'm always pretty happy to take that card first.
I am too, yeah. Cheap, instant speed, can sometimes kill multiple creatures, so that doesn't happen too often.
What are you thinking of? Once you do that, what are you thinking about? Like, where do you want your deck to be from a Bioblade?
I mean, generally speaking, you want to be, more controlling deck like a blue-black.
And you want to be a largely a black deck, right?
That's
like
correct.
Base black.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to cast Bioblight on turn 2, but your deck needs to be able to cast it by turn 3,
right.
turn 4, somewhere in that range. So Joe pulls an Elite Skirmisher to the front here, which is interesting.
So thinking about black white, looking at a green card, but you don't want to go BBGG.
Right. And there's also Chorus of the Tides.
I like Chorus of the Tides here actually quite a bit. I like being black-blue.
Yeah, black-blue's a good color combo.
So where was Joe sitting in relation to, say, John Finkel?
So Joe, Guy. So John Finkel is 2 people to Joe's left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know where that Swordwise Centaur ends up.
Yes. You do. All right. So this is his 3rd pick.
Ugh.
Yuck. He immediately pulls Deepwater Hypnotist to the front, but I mean, that's just because there's nothing in this pack.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he wanted to branch out into another color, it's still early in the draft.
Yeah.
Keep his options open, but there's just nothing enticing.
Yeah, there's
here at
nothing
all.
you want to keep your options open with.
No.
What's the next best card from this pack? Crypsis?
Excoriator, whatever that was. I don't know. That pack was junk.
Yeah. I think a Crypsis makes its way to John out of that pack.
Okay.
Yeah. Poor Sphinx's disciples. Nobody loves them.
Right.
The ugliest dogs in the pound.
All right, here's a few blue cards, though, and a nice one.
Yeah. Nyxborn Triton. See a Vortex Elemental.
Yeah, Vortex Elemental is a card I like a lot, but I like Nyxborn Triton a lot more. Nyxborn Triton, perhaps even a bit underrated. Really solid card.
Yeah, well, when we heard Ben Stark say he would take that card over Farah.
Yeah, he did.
Which seemed crazy to me. But when you think about it, it kind of like, well.
It does make sense. Yeah.
I know what this will do.
As much as, I was mentioning the Tritons may be a little underrated, the gods are certainly overrated. I know what you see out of this pack. Kiora's Faller.
I see how it all happened.
Yeah, it's funny. So for Joe, though, I mean, he doesn't really know where he's at still. And it looks like he's perhaps going to dip over into white a little bit here.
But if you're going to dip over into white, don't you start thinking about, I mean, as crazy as this sounds, don't you start thinking about the Griffin Dreamfinder? Like, don't you think if I'm going to be white, if I'm going to be black-white, like,
yeah, I mean, I think
that I have to have, like, this, like, even thinking about, like, something like the Faded Return. I mean, as weird as that sounds, like, all right.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that black-white as an archetype is one of the underrated and really good archetypes.
Here? No.
He's deciding. This pack
again.
Also
I would just think about Griffin Dreamfinder here. I mean, I'm not happy.
He ends up taking Sphinx's Disciple.
Woof.
Yes. Sphinx's Disciple is a card that you have to do a lot of work to make it good. It's rarely very good, although it can be.
Nice Servant of Timurat. That's pretty. Pretty nice late pick.
Yeah, that's a solid pickup. Joe's still kind of waffling a little bit about exactly where he's at color-wise, still leaning towards blue-black because he picked up this Servant, but he's picked up a few white cards in between, so definitely nothing set in stone at this point for Joe, especially because his overall card quality is quite low. You know, he doesn't have anything amazing. Bile and some stuff.
Oh
is-
my gosh, look at that Oracle's. Look at that Oracle's
I
insight.
knew you'd be excited by
Oh,
that
are we going to
one.
do this? Are we going to do it? Are we going to get it on the Sphinx's Disciple and get ourselves to 2 Pro Tours?
It is.
Are we? Is that what's happening
absolutely
here?
possible. He immediately
Joe.
pulled it to the front too.
Come
and there-
on, Joe.
And there's not much else for him. Forsaken
Yes!
Drifters.
Yes!
BDM's so happy. Jolton Joe Demestrio. Does that work? No.
There's the faded return.
That's another one.
Another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said the, but I meant
Yeah. There's another floating around, and he's going to take it here. You know, in a true blue-black control deck, you can run one of those and get some
Right.
value out of
Yeah.
it. It's not a high pick, and it's not a great card, but you can definitely make it work.
You know,
Takes a certain build, though.
2-drop or a Grizzly transformation. Take the 2-drop.
That
Oh,
two-drop is certainly not what he wants.
What just happened there?
Took a white card.
Yeah, he took the.
Here, you can take a look at his cards here.
Oh, okay.
As that pack was winding down at the time, you can see he's still looking to be blue-black here. He does find that Dreamfinder Griffin on the back end, but he still looks like he's pretty entrenched. Though I have to say, if you're looking at this as your first pack, and you need a 2 on your Pro Tour draft, or excuse me, your GP
Right.
draft to make it 2 Pro Tours, you're really kind of crossing your fingers for the
You're
next
like,
2 packs to help
please,
you
oh,
out.
please,
Yeah,
oh, please.
that is not the start that he wants.
And maybe that's why he took that white card, because that white card's called Plea for Guidance.
Yeah. Ooh.
Wow.
Biden of Thassa right in the front there as his rare.
Also looks at a Lash of the Whip.
But-
When's the last time you saw someone play a cutthroat maneuver? It's been a while,
It's
huh?
been a little while, yeah. I mean, it still sees play here and there. It's an uncommon, you don't see it that often. Not that many decks want it. But here, this is a pretty easy Biden deck, Biden pick. I mean, Biden's really interesting because it's really good if you're being assertive and beating down.
but
But
that
it's
doesn't look like the deck that Joe.
no,
has
but
at
it's
this point.
also good if you're controlling because
Oh,
you can
you get to make their
Yeah,
creatures
come
ram
at me.
into your return phalanxes. And,
exactly, and into even into like your 2/4s.
Right.
And of course, if
Your
your
Baleful
Baleful Eidolons or the one of the
Yeah,
dreams.
you're Servant of Temerat.
Yeah, that's fine too. But I mean,
Yeah.
like Keepsake Oregon just
Yeah.
gobbles them up.
Oh, how about hi, Thonia.
Hello. So things have come around pretty nicely here as Joe's power level took a nice spike upwards with Hythonia.
As did the overall mana cost of his deck.
Right, exactly. It's interesting, though, because the Biden is, again, this is the type of card you want, where,
Yeah.
like, you can
Well, you
just
wanna
make
ram,
them
you want to make
crash in.
things ram into the Hythonia.
That's right. Biden's a tricky, finicky card, but it can be really powerful in either archetype, and Hythonia the Cruel is really strong.
Utterly crazy to think about Vaporkin at all there, right?
Yeah.
Even with the Biden.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. Now this is like his third pick of the draft, third pick of pack 2, fourth
yeah.
pick, and we're into maybe Temple of Deceit territory here. There is a Lash of the Whip, but I don't think that Joe values that card very highly. I mean, it's considered generally like a mediocre
Sure.
removal spell, right? Like you run it,
Yeah.
it kills something, but it's not a high pick. But
The problem is when people start Voltroning up, it doesn't really get anything.
it outclasses.
Yeah, and like you don't
Yeah.
even really get a full. You just get the base card if you
Yeah.
do it in response, and
Yeah,
it's it's just fine.
it's just fine.
Did he take the temple there?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back to
Wow, and
nothing for
nothing.
Joe Demestrio
He's
here.
taking the Monarch Wall. He ended up with a faded return, right?
He did.
You could just start making some indestructible walls.
I like that. That's sweet. Indestructible 04s.
yeah, you're never getting through this.
Yeah.
Aw.
Scourge Mark. here's some interesting stuff for Joe.
I like Mogus's Marauders.
Yeah, Mogus's Marauder is okay. Obviously not great in a control deck, but it can punch through for some damage if you are looking to be a little bit more assertive at times. So I like the way this pack 2 started. I haven't liked how it's gone since then for Joe.
The packs have been, well, there's a Tormented Hero. Which doesn't,
it's
do you like Tormented Hero better than Blood Toll Harpy here?
Actually, I think I like Melita's Charlatan the best out of the 3.
Really?
But I like Blood Toll Harpy better.
I don't even know if I've ever activated a Melita Charlatan.
Oh, buddy, you haven't lived. I grip-tied a guy twice.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I mean, doesn't that sound like the kind of thing I like to do?
It does. I was actually just a little bit taken aback that you haven't done that.
I just don't think.
I mean, not that the card's amazing, but it's still a 2/3 for 3.
Fate Foretold here, or is it Catobleepus time?
I think it's time for Fate Foretold. I don't think it's ever Catobleepus time. And it looks like Joe checked his watch also. Not Catobleepus o'clock.
I really hope that the middle syllable there in Catobleepus is actually just a curse word that's been bleeped out.
Cato what?
Oh, okay, there's a Blood Toll Harpy.
Yeah, and I think those are pretty decent for him. I mean, not good.
Yeah.
But, like, they work well with the Biden, and they can block up some of the flyers.
That's what I was thinking about before when you had the Tormented Hero pick with that. I was thinking it's just like you get in and draw some cards.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I think that's better. You know, because right now it feels like Joe's deck doesn't really know where it wants to go exactly. Like, it feels like it wants to be a control deck, but it doesn't feel super controlling.
12 minutes in time.
And change seats with somebody else.
Yeah.
All right, so we get a look. Go ahead.
This is we're in the review period here.
Right.
Did he end up with a mnemonic wall? Can we do it? Is the dream alive?
Bzz. Negative.
Yeah, it's just a weird deck. Like, it's weird. It's struggling right now.
It is.
It's like, I'm going to do these things on turns 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to do these things on turns 5 and 6.
And they have nothing to do with each other. You know, this is the type of deck that's, like, deceptive because, and Joe will know this, that his deck is not where he wants it to be. But even though he's got a pile of blue and black, they're playables, right? Like, these cards are most of them are playable.
I mean,
this is not a deck. Like, he has not assembled something that is going to be a cohesive, working unit right now.
But the materials are there.
They are. Look at this. Pack 3, pick 1, Metamai the Ageless. But that would require a splash, and right now, Joe is only blue-black.
Right. Sealock Monster.
But there's a Sealock Monster, too, that he can pick and just be happy to pick up, a solid playable. There's a Wingsteed Rider kind of laughing at him on the horse back there. And, of course, there's just like a random Boon of Erebos here as well.
It can't be Boon, right?
I mean, for me, I take Metamai here. And I look to splash. I feel like I'm giving up not a lot. If I want to be a little more conservative, I just take Sealock Monster. And Boon? Joe Demestrio takes Boon of Erebos.
It just feels like he's got these, like, those cheap creatures that are going to get in. And
look, he might be thinking, like, I'm a black-blue beatdown deck.
Right.
Here. Like, I'm looking to be assertive and try to maximize. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's not every deck that has, Fated Return and Hythonia the Cruel in it.
I don't know if Fated Return is necessarily going to
Well, how about Hythonia? I mean,
Hythonia is almost certainly going to get played. Wow, look at this.
I don't think I've had a great deck that's gone turn 1 Tormented Hero, turn 6
I had a chance to see these packs as they passed through John's hands a couple of people later. They weren't much better at this point.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This pack, is anything in this pack exciting to you?
Nothing.
Imagine it 2 picks from now.
Yeah.
When there's still a Leaf Crown Dryad in it for John.
Yeah, because John's to his left here, so yeah. And this pack's really interesting because
Shipwreck Singer.
like
That's-
hiding near the back, right?
That
You're
is
just
that
like,
is a
"Oh."
nice color of grout for the stonework he had.
It is. It's
For all the bricks he had in the earlier packs.
It is. Really an absolutely ideal pickup for him here. Works well with everything he's trying to
Yeah.
do, which is he's trying to do perhaps a bit too much right now. But this does work nicely. Like, it works well with the bite, and you can just attack for one draw
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
It works well with, like, Hythonia,
Yeah.
you know, come at me, bro style, and you
Yeah.
can block, shrink stuff. It works as a control card. So, a really, really good pickup for Joe's deck there.
Another Harpy in aqueous form.
And right when you say that, he brings both of those to the front of the pack. Now, it's hard to say, right? Because, I mean, we're most of the way through this draft here, and we don't get to, like, sort by converted mana cost
Sure.
on what he's got here. But, I mean, what are you leaning towards here?
I think I just take the Harpy.
Just Harpy it up, just get
Yeah.
another flyer. He's going to go for Aqueous form, that's interesting to me. You know, it feels like he has an Agent of the Fates, but just doesn't have an Agent of the Fates. You know?
Well, he's got a Tormented Hero.
He does.
And I think he's expecting a lot of work out of that.
Okay.
Wow.
And here's the super pack for him.
What is going on here?
Right. It's just like apparently nobody was in black. There just wasn't that many black cards.
It's like when someone doesn't properly shuffle their cube back together.
Yeah, it does look like that. He's got a Night Howler pulled to the front. He's
Well, you're just going to slam that card there. I know Ben doesn't love that card.
I'm actually with him on it. Yeah, I don't love the card. I've passed it. I've been in black and passed it.
Sure.
Yeah, like pack 3 pick 1. I'm just like, eh. But I like it here.
Yeah.
I like it here for sure. Like, he needs to take on some variance here and up the power level.
And just trade his crappy
junkers,
creatures, yeah.
and just have a cleanup plan.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's good. It also works well with Hythonia.
Yeah.
Because he can put it on something, blow up the world, and then have the Night Howler that's like equal to all the things that died. Kind of cute. Although I guess if you get to that point of the world, you're winning anyway.
How do you take the Metamai? There's a Traveler's Amulet in there.
That's actually, I think, the third one that he's seen since passing the Metamai. You know, it's funny that one of them was a pack with the Shipwreck Singer in it, though, so that wasn't,
Right.
you know, he wasn't.
It's so funny. I played a lot of Metamai when I first started drafting this format.
Uh-huh.
I felt like I had it in like 3 straight drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I did really well with it. I may not have played with it since.
Metamai has abandoned you?
It's just like I may not have played with it since the opening 2 months of
Weird.
like Theros draft.
It is a mythic, right? Metamai,
Yeah.
so. Card's good.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, it changes the whole game for sure. I mean, just a 4/4 flyer for 6 is not unreasonable, but then that ability is just nuts. And there's another Traveler's Amulet by the by.
And a Dark Betrayal.
And a Dark Patrol.
In case he plays the guy immediately to his right who's been taking the other black cards.
Right. So as we wind down here,
Yeah.
Joe needs to 2-1 with this deck. Is this a 2-1 deck in your mind?
I mean,
any
this
deck
is-
could be, right?
It certainly has. I think it does have the potential to be a 2-1 deck.
Okay.
He's got a lot
I
of.
mean, Joe's an excellent player.
Yeah, he's got a lot of power. Come on, take the wall. Take the wall. Come on. Infinite indestructible
Cutting the
wall.
giant.
Oh, what are you doing to me, Joe? You're killing me here. Yeah, I think he could 2-1 with this deck, but
Okay.
like some stuff's gonna need to break his way.
Yes.
And I'm down.
Okay.
So we're going to send it back, and we'll be back with more action here from Grand Prix Philadelphia.
There's a progress bar at the bottom.
You tried.
Sorry.
You tried.